Hello and welcome to the Stress Knits podcast. My name is Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram and Stress Knits over on Ravelry. This is the WIPdown, which is where I talk to you about my favorite works in progress at the moment in more detail than I get to over on the podcast. Today is November 15th, I believe, so this pattern doesn't come out until next week, but I wanted to do this video beforehand because this sweater is so special and I love it. I'm knitting the Tèlégramme by Becky Sorensen as a test knit. I completely failed because life got in the way and I took on just a little bit more than I could handle at the time, but also just unforeseen circumstances. So I feel horrible about that, but I want to just gush about this sweater. It is, I think, one of my favorite cardigan patterns I've ever knit. And that's saying something because I'm more of a cardigan person than a pullover person in my everyday wardrobe. I just love putting on cardigans over a special like tank top or t-shirt and just wearing them with everything. I say that as I'm wearing a pullover, but you know. So yes, let's chat about this sweater. So I have my notes. So this is the Tèlégramme by Becky Sorensen. It is a collaboration with Bien Aimé, and it uses Bien Aimé Mondim, which is a collaboration between Bien Aimé and Rosa Pomar. So this is the color that I'm using. This is my last, I think this is my last full skein. Which will be perfect. So this is, like I said, Bien Aimé with Rosa Pomar, and it's Mondim, and it is 100% Portuguese wool, and it's 421 yards per 100 grams. It is a little bit on the lighter fingering side, but you really could use any fingering. It is a woolier wool. I did not like this yarn at first, but she requested that testers that could knit with it would knit with it, and when I saw all of the teaser photos of the sweater, she knit hers in the most gorgeous rusty orange. And I was like, I need this sweater, and if she wants me to use the yarn, I will use the yarn. And since it was a collaboration, Bien Aimé, Amy, she so generously gifted all of us one skein that we needed, so it made it much more affordable to do a sweater's quantity of this yarn. Yes, so you can get this through the Bien Aimé website. I know other people carry it, but I'm not sure where because I got it from Bien Aimé. The shipping is pricey, but I definitely think this yarn is worth it if you're willing to splurge. But any fingering weight yarn will do. I would recommend a woolier wool, but I think superwash would work just as well. It would just make it a more drapey cardigan, and it's going to grow more than the non-superwash will. So that is that. I am doing this cardigan in the ash colorway, which is this gorgeous, like, on the screen it looks more browny gray, but it's definitely a very cool dark gray, in my opinion. And it's just one of my favorite grays. So I'm very, very excited to finally be knitting with this yarn. Okay, so I am still on the body, but I think you'll be able to get it. So let's first talk about the specs of the pattern. So the pattern calls for a US 3 and a US 1.5, 3 being for the main body and 1.5 being for the ribbing. So it is a denser gauge than most, and the patterns that I've knit, most fingering weight patterns that I've knit are like a US 5 or a 6. And it does create a very dense fabric, but I really like it. And then I did get gauge on that. I have my gauge swatch actually. I did get gauge. It's a little fuzzy because it's been sitting for a bit. But here is my gauge swatch. So it is a broken rib pattern, and there are panels of this gorgeous cable motif. And then I knit the size 5, which is a 47.5-inch bust. And I believe there are 9 sizes. And it's recommended to have about 4 inches of positive ease. So that's about where I'm at with this. So let's talk about the knit. So you do a different kind of increase along the raglan because it is a raglan style construction. So you do a different increase. It is a lifted increase, and it's not my favorite, but I do really appreciate the very clean lines that it creates. So like I said, this is a cardigan. It is all over broken rib, which is just one of the best textures. It is a pain in the butt to knit, I'm not going to lie. It's not the most enjoyable because, I mean, you're doing ribbing every other row, but I love the effect. It's just such a beautiful, timeless, practical texture. This is a sweater I know I'm going to reach for again and again. So I am almost done with the body. I have about like a repeat left to go of the cable. Because I'm about 1.5 inches away from where she calls you to start the ribbing, but I tried it on and it's just not going to hit me where I would like it to. I want this to hit more at like the widest part of my hip is where I would like to have this so that I can wear it with skirts or dresses or feel comfortable with it in jeans. Because if I were to crop it the way that it is in the my dog is moving around her daybed. If I were to not crop it, but knit it to these specifications, it would hit more closely to my natural waist, just a little bit longer. Esther, babe. And I do love that look, but only when I'm wearing skirts and dresses. Esther, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry about that. Esther, do you want to say hi? No? Okay. Sorry about that. So, yes, so I'm knitting it a little longer. And I'm really happy about that. And since I'm not going to make the test knit deadline anyway, I thought it would be, I would much rather get wear out of this than to rush through this, make a bunch of mistakes, and never wear the cardigan. Hey, Esther, can you stop? I love you. So, yes, so cable, my waist yarn, the cable pattern does run up the side and also along the bottom of the sleeve. Everything except for that panel on both sides is broken rib. So the sleeves are as well. And then there is a collar that I will have to pick up and knit. I also got buttons for this, but I'm not sure if these are the buttons I'm going to use. So it calls for 8 buttons. And honestly, I've never put buttons on a sweater that it calls for because I don't button my cardigans. I like an open front. So these are the buttons that I got. They're a black horn. I think that's what they're called. Let me see if I can. So here is the button. It's just a black button, but it has like almost a tortoise shell kind of looking pattern, which I really like. And I think it goes well. Now it's hard to see because they're so dark and my fingers are in the way. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not sure. So I have 8 of these. Yeah, so I love it. I don't know if I would do, I don't know if I did another one exactly like this. I might make another one just in stockinette because I love the silhouette and I just love the way this cardigan sits. And I think it's just beautiful. And so I might just do a stockinette one. But I'm not going to lie, the broken rib is just, it's taking a lot longer than I would like it to. But I still, I think it's worth it. I really, really do. It's just so beautiful. I did make one mistake. And I tried to fix it, but I was much further. I was about here. I was about 1.5 inches past it when I figured it out. So when I went down to fix it, it just didn't look as nice when I was fixing it. So I just left it because I fixed 2 or 3 stitches and I just didn't feel like it was worth it. And it was also taking a very long time. So I accidentally knitted both on the right and wrong side for about 20 stitches. But where it is, it's right under my arm. So if anybody's looking at me that closely, you can see it right here. But if anybody's looking at that spot on me very closely, I hope not. I really hope nobody does that. Yes. So I really love the sweater. I can't wait to see what everybody else knits it out of. I just think it's such a beautiful staple piece, and I'm so excited. I'm just so excited for it to be out in the world. So this is the Telegram by Becky Sorensen, and I really hope you knit it because it's just, oh, it's beautiful. I'm really obsessed with it. Okay, and I think that's everything about that sweater. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the WIPdown. Special thank you to my patrons who make this segment happen. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.